Maybe we can start now, and I think Adrian will join one by one later.
Yeah,
Do you
we're
think?
gonna have we're gonna have to start using this mode mark. We couldn't find
Okay.
the button. All right, let's get started. It's
A little announcement there. We're good. And looks like we've got 3 attendees. Charles, Connie, and Grace are with us. Good morning, everybody. And oops. There we go. So, Christina, is there a way that we can open up the audio for the members of the 3 attendees to sort of join in on the audio side?
Oh, I think that she just converted that to training mode.
Hey, look at this.
Because I can see that. Now, I think Connie, Charles, and Grace can talk if they want. They're on mute.
Yeah, that'd be
right now.
great. So,
Yep.
Carlos, yeah, if you could lead us in.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get started with this session. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this webinar. My name is Carlos Rodriguez. I think most of you already know me. I've been to Legend for the last couple of years. I used to go there at least every other month in the past prior to the pandemic. And it was always fun being there, seeing everybody in person, but things changed because of the pandemic. And we had to, even at the MLS start, working remotely and teaching webinars only. We don't have any live classes, but it's always good because we can always drop in and drop out, and everybody continues to do whatever they have to do. I invited our director of the outreach department, which is training and a million other things that he works with, Mr. Mark Messimer right here.
Good morning,
and Mark
everybody.
is gonna walk us through what's new at MLS listings. As you know, technology is always evolving and it's not always the same. But besides, during the pandemic, we went through a couple of changes. We went up and down. It's been a roller coaster of emotions and changes here. So we changed some of our rules, then they came back. And that's what Mark is going to talk about. So that's it. I'm going to turn it over to Mark.
Well, yeah, let me get a screen share going, Carlos, for everyone. And I think probably, Carlos, the best place to kick this off is on the pro homepage, right? Because this is the world for everyone. You get logged in. You're finding out what's going on in real estate, what's going on in your marketplace in Silicon Valley, or however far you reach out. But Carlos, recently we've made that reaching out a little bit easier, and I want to take everybody. Here's one of the new things that Carlos was talking about. What things that happened while we were all locked up. This brand new Pro Support Center up here in the right-hand corner of every single page, and I'm going to go ahead and click into that. Here it comes up. It's going to come up for me. And Carlos, this is really it's sort of become the hub for getting information, staying aware. I know you work a lot here with the creators of this page. This is like your own 24/7 library, what's going on in the world. And you'll note that here at the top, we've got these banners. This is always where, we keep the most important stuff right up here where you can get to it. And we were talking about, you're able to sell, throughout the whole state because the license lets you. But you've always had some challenges based on getting the data. Well, I think one of the biggest advancements that was sort of made in 2021 so far, and we're only halfway through here, is this new thing called the MLS Alliance, Carlos. And Carlos, if you could take us through, I'm going to get the map up here with this whole new data share now. It's not just our 5 counties anymore.
All right, sure, definitely. One of the big changes we saw starting this year was exactly what Mark is pointing out, which is NorCal Alliance. So it sounds easy, right? But Mark can attest to that.
Yeah,
It took
yeah.
us over 10 years of going back and forth with the different MLSs around here to accomplish this. So some agents said, well, we have our area of coverage so limited, which is just the 5 counties. That was initially what we had, just the 5 counties that you are all aware of: Santa Cruz, Monterey, San Benito County, Santa Clara, and San Mateo. Later on, we decided to pair up with some of the MLSs around here through the reciprocal access, and we had access to Berries, which is the North Bay, the East Bay, and Sacramento areas. But that was not enough, right? So the big challenge was always trying to combine the different MLSs in Northern California and specifically share their data, which is this, right? Well, up to December of the last year, we had already gotten so far, and we had convinced some of the MLSs in Northern California and some in Southern California to join their forces and share their data. And we went up to about 18 counties that we had access to through Matrix, but that was not enough. So there was this alliance that was formed a couple of years ago, and again, it was all going back and forth, and they finally made it. December of the last year, we announced it. We have always a banner at the bottom of our main page that said NorCal Alliance is coming. So what is NorCal Alliance? Well, 7 major MLSs in Northern California got together, 22 counties plus whatever else we had. That made 33 counties that we have access to now. So that is something super exciting. That's quite an achievement from our MLS and the other MLSs as well, because now instead of you going to that other MLS, if you ever go back to our page, and Mark's going to show us that later, we used to have the reciprocal access. You don't have to do that. Berries and the East Bay Metro List, those have been sort of canceled right now. Those buttons, they're still there, but when you click on them, it says, oh, sorry, we don't have the data right here. Why don't you just go to Matrix? You're going to find the same, right? So go to Matrix, the little house with the red roof, which is for residential searches, and you can find data from 33 counties. For example, you say, show me active single family homes in, we can go at a county level. If we say San Francisco, that's one of the new ones, right? San Francisco, we have about 337. Well, we have the regular ones that we used to have, but the added ones, San Francisco, Sacramento, San Luis Obispo, which is below that one, Mark, right there, San Luis Obispo, and so forth. See, we have hundreds and hundreds of listings throughout 33 counties, and that all happens in Matrix. So,
and that's the key point, Carlos. That exactly. That first thing you said, click on that little red house over here on the homepage,
right?
Because behind this little red house now, the tool they already know how to use, right? You don't have to go learn something new. It's the tool you've been using for a long time. Sits this vast majority of the listings now, and it's really, you're seeing that everything your customer's seeing, right? There's no, there's no hidden inventory anymore. And Carlos, in the case here, you could always have that situation where a Sacramento agent, lists a home in Willow Glen. Well, in the old world, you wouldn't see that one home, but your customer might see it on, realtor.com, kind of stuff. And that's got to be a troubling, when your customer comes to you and says, how come you didn't show me this one? Well, up until the alliance, it wasn't showing up in Matrix. Now that the alliance is in place, all that data is available for you in the Matrix search tool. This is a huge advancement.
Right. And so if you're looking for homes in Los Angeles area, we also have access to that area. We used to have it in the past through CRMLS, data that we were already getting in the past. But if you say, show me active single family homes with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms in Los Angeles, Voila,
Yeah.
you get hundreds, thousands of homes in that area.
This is just the single family. It's more than 2,500 in Los
Correct.
Angeles County now, right?
If you want to take a look at the number, the exact number, you can always click on the number 2,500 plus, and it will give you,
That's a
okay,
good
we have
tip.
5,813
Yeah.
listings in Los Angeles as we speak.
Mm. So
And
Carlos,
what's the
this
other
is,
advantage? Okay,
yeah.
you were asking me something, I'm asking you something, right? What's the advantage besides seeing the listings here with NorCal Alliance, Mark?
Well, certainly it's that, you're now looking as the agent, you're looking at the same inventory that the listing agent, or excuse me, that the consumer, the prospective buyer is looking at, maybe over on realtor.com or even MLSlistings.com, right? So it took 10 years to get it done, like you said, but this is that one of those equalizers. You now see every listing in the neighborhood, not just the ones from the MLS listing subscriber.
That is correct. But so if I have a listing, do I have to list it in that other area?
Yeah, that was always the challenge before. In the new world, you just stay right within the MLS listings, MLS listings listing management system. You don't have to go learn any more software. Just keep it, get it entered here, update it here, do your price changes, put your open house in, put it on tour. We'll communicate for you as the listing agent. We'll communicate to all those other MLSs out there, and we'll get it up. We'll syndicate it, right? That we'll get it out there in the public's eye. Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, literally hundreds of consumer websites. Now, I didn't say the word Redfin. Everybody likes to lump Redfin in with those Zillow people, right? And you got to separate those out, because Redfin is a broker. Redfin is just like Legend. Redfin is just like a little bit of feedback there. We're okay. Anyway, so it's Redfin's one of us, as they say. We got to play fair. Everyone gets the same data. So absolutely, Carlos, the listing agent now just lists in MLS listings, and we take care of keeping everybody up to date on their behalf. Makes it so much easier.
Correct. So that they know, some of the agents are new, but those of you who are not new, in the past, we used to list a property that I had, for example, in Fremont, over there on East Bay, and listed at MLS listings, so that we could have the broker tour, an open house, and everything, the whole package, and we syndicate it for you. Well, that's no longer needed anymore, because the only thing you do, as Mark said, you go to your listing management tool, which is the one Mark is showing right now, at your listing right there. And the same way that we can see or find listings across 33 different counties in California, the same way your listing is going to go to the same 33 counties, to put it that way.
Right. And Carlos, I'm always a proponent of, a lot of people come into the MLS, they become a realtor, and they go learn how to list and search. And that's absolutely, you got to get that. You got to figure out what your marketplace is. But along the way, take that listing management class. Be ready with how the tool works and what the rules are relating to listings before you get your first listing. It'll actually help you in the listing presentation you're going to have with that prospective buyer. You're going to be able to talk about how the tool works and where your listing is going to be sent, and how you can make changes, and different ways to come to the marketplace. Maybe you want to sort of creep in slow, right? Use that new members only option that we've got, or like most people do right now, with the market so crazy, and average days on market right now in Silicon Valley, I think we're at 8, kind of stuff. You just put it active and let it go. It's going to be gone that week. That's pretty much the case sometimes. So take that listing management class. And Carlos, that's where you and your program, your webinar program, step in, right?
Well, that's correct. So I do teach all those classes that some of you have already attended. And if you want to sign up for the classes, go to the training tab right at the top of the page. When it opens up, you see all the classes that we have per day. Well, the reason why you see so many classes, first of all, we don't have any live classes. Let's clear that up again. All of them are webinars, and this all happened because of the pandemic. But we paired up with the third-party vendors. Some companies like HomeSnap, MLS Touch, that are the mobile applications that we suggest for you. They're all together on this page. So it's the one-stop shop here. You don't have to go anywhere else to sign up for classes. And I wanted to clear up, Mark said something really good. The listing management class. I know anyone can figure it out. They can go, oh, I know how to add a listing. I just click this button and I add my listing here and I'm all done. I submitted my listing. But guess what? There are rules and regulations that we have to go by. And if you don't know, you might be doing something that is against our rules and regulations. And of course, I hate to say this, but there are citations, right? Not that I'm trying to scare anyone, but there are citations that are imposed by, well, the board and the MLS. And if you do something like, for example, not adding a photo to your listing, which is something simple, you might be cited for not doing that. Or maybe the time for listing or excluding a listing, you are not aware of it and you just let it go. And after 2 weeks, you realize that you didn't do it right. So you could be cited for not listing your property. You signed a contract, but you never put it on the MLS when you are supposed to, and so forth, right? I just wanted to go back to that. And also on the listing side, remember that we have several things that you can do with the listing. If you go back to that, the purple button right there is the key, right? When you click on that, it shows you, okay, what do you want to do with your listing? Do you want to add it as a new listing? And that will make it active immediately. So it goes to both of our systems. We haven't mentioned our secondary one, which is Paragon. We have Matrix on the one side and Paragon on the opposite side, right? We always recommend Matrix because there is a particular thing about Matrix that Paragon doesn't have right now. What is that, Mark?
Well, it doesn't have those members only listings right now.
Members only.
Yeah. And we're getting them there, but we wanted to make sure, most of our users use the Matrix tool. So we wanted to make sure immediately, that Matrix got that data. This is that special group of data. Members only doesn't go to the Zillows, the Trulias, the Realtor.coms. It's really something that you as a buyer's agent can, say to your client, look, I've got access to the special group of inventory that only the real estate professionals see. So it allows you to sort of bring something new to the table, bring greater relevance to the relationship with your buyer. You've got listings that they can't see.
Well, right. And so let's expand a little bit more on members only, because we just say members only and it's normal to Mark and I, because we've been working with members only for a while, which is actually, for those of you who are new agents, is the replacement of one of the things that we used to do in the past, coming soon, right? So those of you who are not new agents, you remember probably that last year, we had that concept where you could add your listing. You were not ready to show as an active listing. You could put it in coming soon for up to 30 days. And before the 30 days were over, you had to move it to active, right? Or you needed to call us and cancel it because we didn't have a cancel button, but only 30 days was the maximum. During the pandemic, we decided to open the cap. So we said, well, we don't have open houses. It's really hard. Agents were afraid to put their listings on the active, in the active world right there on their matrix searches. So they all jumped to coming soon. Well, at the same time, there was a new regulation that came out while everybody was jumping to coming soon and adding their listings because they said, oh, okay, the MLS listings management just opened the 30-day cap to nothing, right? The life of the contract. Everybody jumped there and we accumulated so many listings at the end of the year. But then there was something that happened back in May of the last year, Mark. What was that?
Right. That was NAR and clear cooperation.
And what is
that? A whole
new
set of rules for everyone to play by. And you're right. Coming soon at that point became this sort of sanctuary. It on a normal day, 2 years ago, coming soon maybe had 60 listings in it. We got up to 520 listings at one point that came rushing into the coming soon category. But as many of the veterans will remember, boy, there wasn't a lot of functionality over there, right? It was just a list and of homes that you could that were supposed to be coming soon. Many of them were being sold in the coming soon category. There weren't a lot of rules. You couldn't email, you couldn't map, you couldn't say just show me the 3-bedroom ones, right? So that's where this new members only world came about. Okay. And members only is something that only our MLS has. You won't find it in the East Bay or San Francisco. They're still in coming soon mode. We've moved it to a degree of specialty that was driven by our board, who said, there are some listings that you do not show, right? They're just not ready to show yet, but you want to start creating some buzz, a little bit of marketing about them. But you got to stay compliant with NAR's clear cooperation. You don't want to get involved in that world. So we sort of made 2 versions, as everyone knows, of members only. Members only do not show. You can advertise it, but you can't show it. You can't show it to anybody in your office. You can't show it to anybody else's office. You're getting it ready to go. And then there's a members only show. And that's where you sort of just want a limited audience. You don't want the syndication yet. You don't want that big explosion of marketing. You want to start, moving people through the home slowly, kind of such. And so we really do have this sort of small, medium, large, cold, warm, and hot, however you want to, name those 3 levels. You can come into a market, full blast, just make it active and go. Or you can slowly move into a marketplace, depending on the need of your seller now, to I don't want to show, I just want to let everyone know it's coming soon, to I want to show, but I don't want the whole world coming over, right? I just want to show and manage the showing environment. And as I said, or you just go active and let it run. Carlos, good time to show on the matrix side of the world. How do you get those coming soon listings, right? Or excuse me, how do you get those members only?
Members only. See, that's
I'm not allowed to say
bad habit we have, right?
Yeah. Now, the key thing to note is, hey, they just show up in your regular search. So I'm going to do a hot sheet search real quickly down here. For those of you who have never played down in this part of the search page, this is, I'm going to do Santa Clara County. This is what's going on, right? Active listings. If I choose just show me the actives, that's an inventory list. That's a list of everything available. What I'm asking the system here is 3 questions. And this is a great search to save, guys, if you're sort of playing along at home. I just want to show me the new listings in Santa Clara County that showed up today. And I like Carlos, I like that trick and matrix they don't really tell a lot about. You could type in today's date if you wanted to right here, right? 07-16- or you could use the calendar right next door. Okay, that's an option. Or you can go right over here and just put in the number 0, and that's today, right? And look what we've got. We got 51 brand new listings today. Let's go get those results. They're right. Wouldn't you know, Carlos, right on top. There's a members only do not show right there.
And you have both.
Yeah, I got it. And here's a members only show. Yeah, down there. Let's click in and see what this real estate agent told us about their listing. Not available for showing. Good. They're staying compliant. Please contact listing agent Lisa for more information. Okay. Lisa's doing it the right way here. Okay. She's working in. Now, key things for you listing agents and you buyer agents as well. Members only does not collect days on market. Okay. Members only do not show there's no days on market over here. Okay.
So Mark, if I'm a buyer's agent and I have a client and I run a search for listings in my area and I get a few of those members only show,
Yeah.
members only do not show. Can I send them to my client?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because remember that listing agent, even for a members only do not show, he's not saying don't show the video, don't show the photographs. He's saying don't come to the house. I'm not going to let you in the front door. But absolutely, I want you to take a look at, Lisa here is saying, absolutely. Well, she only put up one photo and she didn't give me a video yet. It's a brand new listing. Lisa's building it. Let's try this other one out. Oh, look at this. This is a Bay East listing, Carlos. See how it starts with BE right there?
Right.
Bay East. We now get, this is that sort of that phase 2, that
Right.
continued growth of the MLS. We built this thing called members only, and the East Bay in San Francisco looked over the fence and said, hey, can we see those? Can we see those? Because they're, some of them may be in our territory. And we looked back over the fence and said, you show us your coming soons in our world, and we'll show you our members only in your world. And that's the outcome.
That's correct, because originally when we started the members only a few months ago, it was just for our members only, MLS listings members, to see their listings and share them, which is a good advantage that we didn't have before with coming soon, because you could not select a few and share them with your clients. On here, on Matrix, you can select them and send them to your client. And when they receive them on their end, it's going to say, well, this is not yet available for showing. Is that right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So when you see listings come up now in this in these one-line displays, keep an eye out over here for these M's. I'm going to sort this and see if we got any others. Oh, look at this, is just today. Right, you got 7 members only do not show in Santa Clara County, right? And you got 3 members only show also in Santa Clara County right now. For the buyers agents, we know that times can be challenging right now. Every home that comes on the market, every home you get a view of, you got a client for and you really want to get in, you really do have to respect that listing agent's and the listing sellers request to do not show, right?
And just to reinforce what Mark said earlier, when you see the members only do not show, the ones that are crossed out with the red line right there, if you go to the days on the market column right there to the right, you will see that we don't have any days on the market at all, period. We are not recording them. However, the ones below, the ones in green, no red line, members only show, you don't see, if you go back to that column, you don't see the days on the market showing, but we are sort of recording that in the background just for the MLS data and all that. Now, Mark, if I have a listing, I'm the listing agent, I have one of those members only do not show, and for some reason somebody comes up to me and persuades me to show it to them, what could happen?
Well, now you're in a you got problems. It's one of the steeper fines that we do issue. I think the first offense is $500, the second is $1,000, the third can be $2,000 at that point. This is, you're really going against the national guidelines, the state guidelines, and the local guidelines on this one. And everyone's watching, everyone's peeking. We get reports. Our compliance department gets reports of, hey, they're showing in do not show, category. We investigate those, and we certainly have corrected some people's behaviors recently.
So bottom line, if you decided to list your property as a members only do not show it at all, because you could get in trouble. And if you could step back to that tab that you had open, Mark, for listing management.
Oh yeah.
You have that listing management on the purple button where we have the drop down, the purple button right there, where you click on, let's say I have my listing, I want to add it as a members only. You click there and it gives you that message. I don't know if you could blow it up a little bit so that we can
do that.
But it says, this listing is being placed in members only category with the distribution preferences for internet set to no. that means that it's not going to Zillow, Realtor.com, any of those, not even our own website for the consumers. So you acknowledge that, and you're saying, yes, I understand that my listing is not going to be syndicated. When you say okay, right there, it asks you, do you want to add it as a members only show or do not show, right?
Right.
So you understand if it's show, your days on the market will accrue but will not be displayed. But if you say do not show, if you select that mark for us, please, it says right there clearly
Yeah.
that exactly properties in do not show may not be shown. Any showing of the property is a violation. So red warning right there. So be careful with that. So if you, of course, proceed, you're gonna complete your listing, but we can probably go away from that one. I just wanted to pull you back and show them that it's simple, right? It tells you that right there. But once again, I would recommend you to come take the class, because as easy as it seems to add a new listing, it is easy. Technically speaking, you just go there, say new listing, and you follow the process. However, you need to be aware of all the rules and regulations that are tied into this if you don't want to be cited. Hopefully,
Right.
nobody will ever be cited at all, right?
And I think this is a good time to, once again, it's with any luck, somebody's going to get a listing. They're going to find out about it, at 9 o'clock tonight, and they're going to want to get started. But wait a second, where's Carlos? Right? I need some quick training. Hey, this Pro Support Center, upper right hand corner of every page. In this case, it's going to go back to the main page, and let's I'm going to use this search tool, upper right hand corner, and I want to do a members only listing. So just type in members only, and what's going to come back are the overview, the rules. What is it? How does it work? Look, here's the list of rules right there for you, right? Phase 2. What did we do in phase 2? So many opportunities. Also, Carlos, you guys have worked so well at getting just the world of on demand, right? It's after hours. You want to take the class. You want to. You need the material. This is the video library, and you've got all sorts of. They put the lead, the big hitters right up front. Basic search and listing management. Just click right in. But if you want to dive down into some of our other material, here's the breakdown for you. Here's listing management, realist. Those are your tax records. You need to find something, very detailed about a piece of property. Here's that Paragon tool you mentioned earlier, a different search tool, right? Maybe you came to MLS listings from the East Bay and you really liked using Paragon over there in the East Bay. We got Paragon. You can use the same tools, right? And then always our featured videos. So, upper right-hand corner of every single page, you're going to find that pro support or that training link. This is where you're going to go for additional information.
Right. And if you go back to that pro support page for a second, Mark,
You bet.
I really love it. Our customer support team worked really hard putting this together, and some of us contributed. But what I like is, as Mark said, we have the upper right corner right there, self-service, which is, the way I see it, is like Google. When you go and type something in, one of the most common requests or questions that we have is auto email. So you go in there in the middle of the night and type auto email, because you really need to set up an auto email for one of your clients. You don't need to have a trainer around you. You just go there, matrix, how to set up an auto email, and it gives you the step-by-step instructions. Another good thing, and these are the instructions, step 1, step 2, step 3, and so forth. Another good one that you can type in there is the word coverage. Remember, we've been talking about our area of coverage. Just type the word coverage, enter, or hit the little magnifying glass, and then the very one at the top, click on that one, and it will show you the map of California with the different MLSs participating with the shared data that we discussed before. And if you keep going down, those are all the names of the MLSs right there that are part of this deal, right? And way underneath that, we have the list of counties right there. The Bay Area consists of Marin, Mendocino, Napa, all the way down to Sonoma. Then we have the Bay East, Alameda, Contra Costa, Butte, Colusa, Glen Lake, etc. We do have access, and people were asking about this in the past. San Francisco, right? We're near San Francisco, and yet we didn't have access to it. But now we do with the NorCal Alliance. We do have access to San Francisco right there, and others, right?
Yep.
Well, there you go. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that it is really easy to go through that page and pull a lot of information, anything you want, basically, yep. Kind of like Google for the MLS.
So maybe a good point, Carlos, to sort of take a breath for all of us, and maybe, you know, reach out to Charles and Connie and Grace and Angie and Darren. Any questions on data share or listings, or, you know, what type of listing I should use? Be a good time to ask those questions now.
And they can share their cameras. It'd be nice to see their faces as well.
And you can share your camera as well if you'd like to. We're keeping an eye on that chat room down at the bottom. If you'd rather just type a question in, feel free to send us a little chat to work with. So it looks like everybody's just, you know, being a quiet student today. That's okay. Carlos and I get rooms full of quiet students. We're good at this. Carlos, maybe a good time to talk about open house.
Yep, that's what I was going to suggest.
Because open house has come back to the world again. Boy, that we missed it. You know, it was but in the meantime, what's even sort of scarier sometimes, and maybe Charles, Connie, Grace, Angie, or Darren are a new agent that came into the marketplace in 2020 during COVID, during shelter in place, and they never did an open house. I have met agents who have never done an open house before. And we've got a way to search for those, right?
Correct. Actually, well,
you want to take it from here?
Well, I can actually, why don't you talk about it if you don't mind?
Sure.
I just taught the class like an hour and a half ago.
So what I want to show you folks is sort of from the technical side of things. Carlos and I stay on top of what's going on in the industry. We do speeches and presentations on those, but you know, one of our core job probably is to teach the buttons. Where are the buttons, and how do I push them in order to get the results I need? Okay. And so in this case, the question is, we'll make it real simple. Open houses this upcoming weekend. Which ones are open houses this upcoming weekend? Let's choose Santa Clara, maybe just as a sample. So I'm going to come over here to Matrix Search, because it's in there someplace, as they say. And want to point out, not that. I want to point out, let's see if I can move this here. Is it going to allow me to move it? It's hidden right behind there. Carlos, you can see my drop-down menu?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And if you go down, and it's not showing here, it's down here in the more. You got. I need a little bit more of this list. Open it up a little bit, and if I go down towards the bottom, there they are, right there. A special open house search capability. It built right into the Matrix tool. Okay. Now it looks and it acts just like Matrix, just like you were searching. Show me all the 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in San Jose. Okay. It's basically the same layout. You got your mapping capability if you want to draw neighborhoods out. Okay. But let's just say, you know, I'm going to say residential up here in the upper left. And I just want the single family. Okay. And I'm Santa Clara. I want to see the Santa Clara area. You can use, you can use zip codes, whatever suits your needs on the, on the city, on the geography kind of stuff. Want to talk, I'm going to make a little note to myself about areas here, Carlos. I'm sort of on a tangent lately about using areas. We'll come back to that.
Right.
Right now, look at the matches down here, lower left-hand corner, 2,500 plus. No, there are not 2,500 plus listings in open houses in Santa Clara. Oops. In fact, there are only 32. Okay. But we only want the ones from this last weekend or the upcoming weekend. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to set that date range right here. Okay. Once again, I could type it all out if I want to. I think it's like 24 keystrokes or something if I were to try and create a date range for tomorrow and Sunday. Going to use the calendar instead, right next door to it. I want on the 17th and the 18th, right there. You just click the range that you want. It fills in those dates for us right there. I'm going to click OK. There we go. There are 31, and let's go get the results. Now, remember, you're going to see some doubles in here, meaning, let's see if I can find it here. I think they're being sorted right now by the date column, Carlos.
Yes.
But I may be holding, if I'm a listing agent, I may be holding a house open on Saturday and on Sunday. And we chose that date range. So some listings are going to show twice.
Double.
Right? One for each kind of stuff. So this is the list, the 31 homes that are available for open house in the city of Santa Clara this weekend. You're looking at definitely a customized display, right? Because we're getting the time and who's going to host it. Is it going to be in person? Everyone's going to in person.
And of course, these are a lot of listings. 31, and 31, like Mark said, we have double because they're doing Saturday and Sunday. But Mark, what if this is Santa Clara? What if your client says, no, but I really, really like this area in Santa Clara, not the entire.
I would do this solely because I started with the big question, give me all of Santa Clara, but now Carlos is saying, no, go down to a specific neighborhood. Head over to the map and find that neighborhood. And let's say it's up here in the Rivermark area, up by the 49er stadium and such. So Carlos, this is where I would use one of the cutting tools right here, and I would isolate that little area up in Rivermark. And it's easy in this case because I'm gonna use the draw a rectangle option here. Oops. There we go. I'm just gonna draw a quick little box right around those 6, just like that. Let that mouse go. Look, everybody else disappeared. All the rest of the Santa Clara went, I'm out of here.
But it makes more sense because then this is specific to the area that they want. There are only a few, 4, 5, or 6 that they can go see between Saturday and Sunday instead of 30, right?
Yep.
So,
and in fact, here's a good example. All 3 listings that are available on Saturday are also available on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay? Right.
Now, I only want the first 3. Right, I just want to take a look at the Saturday tours, right? Because that's when my client's available. So this works just like Matrix. I can just save these. I can just hold these 3. I'm going to use the refine button, lower left corner, and I'm going to tell it to narrow this list down to just those 3 that I've selected. Okay, and there they are. And this is where the fun, really gets exciting because I can print, I can email. I can get the driving directions as well. There are the driving directions to get from one house to another. They're pretty close to each other, right? Hey, but maybe, I want to show, I want to save Eisenhower for last, right? Because it's a little higher price, but you're going to get a little more for it. Maybe it has the bigger bang value. Put them in a different order, Carlos. So I'm going to highlight it, hold my mouse button down, and drag it to the bottom of the list here. Now look over there at the map that's got the blue line, sort of the trail. When I let my mouse go, the trail disappears. All you do is re-click the directions button, and there you go. It redraws the list for you. So as I said, you can do this, on a regular search. Show me all the actives in Rivermark. Now show me the driving directions to each house, kind of stuff. All the same tools that work over in regular search work here in the open house search as well. And Carlos, what do you bet if we go? I'm going to go back up here. I'm back on our support center again. If I type in open house up there in that search window, there's got to be here's the statement that we restated it. The open house update, how to enter an open house, features and benefits, how do I prepare for an open house? Once again, everything you can do on Matrix. There's backup material, backup learning, late night learning material over in the support center for you. And that support center is at the upper right corner of every single page.
And this is, of course, searching for open houses, and we decided to go for single family homes. But if you do a different category, they are looking for open houses on townhouses. Well, now let's go duplex, triplex, fourplex. Can we do that?
Yeah, well, that would be over in where the multiple on a lot concept right there.
Right.
Now, and also remember that sometimes you got to watch out for those listing agents. Sometimes they'll take a duplex and they'll put it in as a single family home, right? Because it could be a single family home. You right, cut a hole in the middle of the two units and zoom, you go back and forth, multi-generational, that kind of stuff. So sometimes when you don't find it there, sometimes it's just the listing agent called it something else,
right?
Kind of thing.
And so we were showing them how to search for open houses in Santa Clara, then a specific area, then you zoomed in, and then you selected 3 of them that you could share with your clients, send them directions and all that. But what about if you're on the other side? You are the listing agent, and then you want to add your property to the open houses.
To the open house. Good question. So, and I have, what's this? Here we go. Oh, come on, be good to me. There we go. I opened up my listings here before we got started. So I've got 3 active listings, and note the big red line at the very top of the page, trainer mode, right? Carlos and I, although we have access to the real software, what we call production, we don't like to play over in production, because if we hit submit, we'll put somebody's house on the market and maybe they don't really want to move right now. So we play in our own little sandbox here called trainer mode. So Carlos, I'm going to take my home here that I've already got entered on Allendale Avenue in Saratoga. Let's open up the action items, right? And look right there, open house.
So the key element here, and that's for everybody here, Connie, Angie, Charles, Darren, Anna, Cheng, Jasleen, and Kaibo, is that your house has to be active. So you cannot add an open house if it's not active. So you make it active first, you work on your listing, push it, make it active, and then you can go to your dashboard, go to your active listings like Mark just did, and select that one. He's working on the kind of like the old view on listing management that we have, but you can also do it on tile view. I don't want to go into details with that, but there are 2 different views there. And then you just select open house, and it will let you then add your open house. Otherwise, it won't if it's not active.
So date, I'm going to start mine at 1 o'clock. I'm going to be the host. And we're going to be serving cookies. Okay. Now, the other thing I really like down here below, and I'm going to submit this one. It's submitted to the system, right? The listing management software keeps track of all the open houses you have on each individual property. That way, if down the road your client comes back and says, how many times have we held this open, right? The other thing it allows you to do is you can copy and paste. If you've got a big long description in the remarks, and you want to just do the same thing next week, just copy and paste it and put it over. You don't have to type it all back out again. It makes it really simple to work with. So really, this is once again, this is all available to you in the Learning Center, in that support center in the upper right hand corner of all.
So adding an open house, I already understood. That's really easy. Make my listing active, then go to the drop down, open houses, and add it. Right. But if I want to send out a flyer to the people living around that area, I want to send them something to let them know, hey, I'm going to have an open house on Saturday. Because we were talking about adding the open house here so that then we push this data to the different mobile apps, right? And it goes out to Zillow and others, right? When you add it to the system. But so if I want to send a little piece of something, I don't know,
Well,
a little card.
yeah.
How do I do that?
I got it. So let's go. You want to go with the people first, or what are you going to send them first? Let's go with the people.
Let's go with the people.
Let's go with the people. Okay. So one of the tools we have built into the Matrix world now is the public records way down here at the bottom of this pick list. Okay. Now this is really similar to the home page, the realist button on the home page, right? Realist is used to be a company name. It's now a product name because the people that make Matrix, CoreLogic, they bought Realist. Okay. And when they bought Realist, they incorporated it into the search tab in Matrix down here under public records. Okay. So they're sort of one in the same thing. I will admit that old Realist button, it's got a little deeper on the functionality level, right? If you really want to pry into the public records of the state, little deeper tool, but this works for the sort of the assignment that Carlos has given. Carlos wants to send something to the people around the subject property, okay? Letting them know, hey, I got an open house this upcoming weekend. Come on over and see me and my free cookies, kind of stuff. So Carlos, from here, if we're gonna maintain that Santa Clara approach to things, let's take a look at let's go to the map first. Okay?
Right, you can go to the map,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things I would do there, Mark, if you just click on that, I would type in the address right there, so it gives me that red dot with the address. Whatever
Carlos,
address.
what address should we jump in here? You want to do your house or I can do mine?
No, let's do 7. Let's okay.
I got
whatever.
one for you. 18601. This is where I used to live. In Creeks Road in Saratoga.
So there you go.
It is right there.
Oh, that's the property.
Yep. Look at all those purple houses. Right? There's so many of them, it has to bundle them, right? The reason is this, folks. Public records is everybody's house. It is everyone's house in the state. I'm going to just close in, every one of these people, right? And if I wanted to look, here's the property that I typed in right here, 18601. If I wanted to take a peek at this piece of property, I can just click on it. Okay. There it is. Let's take a look at it, going across the street. I think this one is back on the market again, if I'm not mistaken, Carlos. There has been a listing for this piece of property at 18600, right? Here's the tax record for it. So simply by clicking anywhere on the map, you can get to the information about who owns every single house. That's powerful. That's very powerful.
And that's Mark's neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken, right, Mark?
Yeah, this is my farm.
Cupertino.
Yeah, this is my farm, and if I'm going to hold this house available for sale, right? I need to know who owns all these properties. So once again, let's take a look at. So Carlos, I'm going to cut a chunk out here. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to use my polygon tool because it's going to be sort of a weird shape. I'm going to use my polygon tool, and I'm going to take this neighborhood right here. Now, every time I need to change direction, Carlos, I do another click, and that puts this little anchor in place for me. Okay. Every time I change direction, I give it another click. I'm going to come all the way down to Dave's Avenue, and let's go all the way over to Keto Road. One last click where I started. Now, once again, look what's going to happen around the outside of this shape, right? Everything else disappears. Now I'm focused down just on these homeowners.
170 properties that you selected.
Right? And here's the cool part, folks. Results button right there. And here they are. These are all the homeowners with their address. You got their name. Look, you even got a water company down here, Santa Clara Valley Water District.
Right.
They own some property in this area. It grabs everybody. Okay. Now, the mailing aspect to it, okay? We'll get right to the point. I want to mail everyone on this list something. Real simple, Carlos. Here's a button right here for all. It selects everybody on every single page. And I'm going to come down to, Carlos, let's come down to that print button at the very bottom left corner of the page.
Right.
Look at that. Mailing labels.
Mark, we're having some background problems here.
You got some background problem. Hey, is Christine, are you there?
Christine or Connie, are you there? Because we're hearing the voices. People are talking. Christine, Connie, can you?
Yeah, I'm here. I will mute him.
Can you mute whoever is talking? All right, thank you. Right. All right, thank you, Mark. We're almost there. Okay. So labels.
So mailing labels right here. Send it to the address, send it to the owner, no matter where they are, right? It's drawing from, in this case, Santa Clara County's tax records. So it knows where to send the tax bill, sort of. So, but this is a great way to farm an area, to connect with the area, print the labels, email them to your friends, right? Email this list to yourself, that kind of stuff. Very, very powerful tool, Carlos.
Right, you can send it to the address. You can print the labels for each one of those properties, 170, and you can print the sheet with the 170 if you want, or as Mark is showing you below, we have the Avery 5160, which is the most common type of label. And you can send it to the occupant right there, to the property address without the names of the people. It just says current resident. Or if you prefer, the third one down says owner property. So that will include the name of the homeowner if you really want to address that message to the homeowner. So this is great, Mark. I really, really like it. I like tax records included in Matrix.
Yep.
I think there is a good time. This is a good time to go through the, there were some questions from one of the attendees that I saw. It says from bayeast.org, we can only access MLS via Paragon. So I don't know what exactly that means. Is it,
well, you know, the in the old days, right? Last December, you were in the Bay East territory. Let's say you worked out of Fremont, and you wanted to look over the line into Milpitas, right? In Santa Clara County, that's our world. You'd have to go to Paragon, go to Bay East website, click on the MLS listings button to reciprocate into our world. No longer necessary with the whole data share environment. Our data is now available inside of the Bay East Paragon search tool. Okay.
Right, which is the same thing that we have. We see their data in Matrix, San Francisco's data.
That's correct.
So for them, it's the other way around. They don't need to land on our web page anymore and get all confused. They have enough with their own page, right? So they find everything. I think that's the only question, but I would like to challenge the attendees. If there are any questions that you guys want to ask, that's the reason why we invited Mark, and we had invited other people, but unfortunately we're not able to attend. But is there anything that is kind of burning you that you go, I hope they can answer my question now that you have the MLS people? Any question from Charles, Connie?
I have no any questions so far. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Charles.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. Somebody else? Nobody?
Looks like nobody else. Let me check. There's a question, I think, in the Q&A.
That's, I think, the
that
one
was that Bay
we
East
just
question,
addressed. Right.
So Carlos, I'm going down our list. We've talked about NorCal, the data share, that everything is now flowing throughout the MLSs in Northern California. We've talked about that open house. Open houses are now back in season again, and you can search not only for where the open houses are, get directions, email it to your client or to yourself. We've also seen, hey, I want to do some marketing in the neighborhood. right? But we broke that up into two pieces. There was the go get the labels, right? Go find out who lives there and give me some labels. I want to show now that those AccuList reports, because we do have things to send them. So back to a share page again. The button I'm going after on the homepage is right down here, AccuList Market Reports, okay? And when they come up, it looks like this, okay? Now, you've probably seen it on our homepage. I think they put it there at the beginning of every month. They talk about 3 for free. Three for free is the AccuList offering, meaning you get 3 free branded reports every month. You decide where they go, where they're from, where they go, where they're going to be. I'm going to type in this case, Saratoga, because that's, oops, that's not how you spell Saratoga, Mark. The city of Saratoga right there. Okay. And Carlos, in this instance, there are 17 different reports that I can pull for 3 for free every month for the city of Saratoga. Okay. Now, some of them are, look how data heavy this is, right? But we have so many engineers and, incredibly smart developers and things like that. And they love their numbers. They love their statistics, right? But maybe if you're going to be mailing something to that list we got over there in Realist, you want something a little lighter, right? Something a little easier to work with. Maybe one of these, what I like to call the USA Today ads, right? And this is one of our favorite. Now, this one is a sample. It's going to come back with, it says Hollister at the top when it pops up here. All right, where'd it go? Is it messing with me, Carlos?
Yeah, what happened?
That was interesting. Let's try that again.
Saratoga. Hi
City,
there.
right?
There it is.
Clicking down the page. Here it is right here. Let's take a look at this sample. Just needed a little coaxing. So it's going to come up now. You need to have your photo in the MLS listing system for your photo to appear on these reports. If you don't, it's just going to put a for sale sign there.
And if I want to, going back to the open house, Mark,
yeah,
and we told them you need certain reports for your open house. This might be one of them, right? That
correct.
You could have on top of your table when people walk in and they want to grab it.
Great idea.
That's one of them. Or that's one choice. The other one, can I distribute it around the neighborhood?
Oh yeah,
myself?
Because you got that mailing label now. You could walk the neighborhood and hand them out. Or you could do that mailing if you want to. I like the idea of having them there at the open house for people to pick up. It's got your name and number on it, your contact information, right? The other one I like about this one, Carlos, is when, if I order this right now and I'm going to just click email me the report, it's going to get here. I'll keep an eye on my emails to see when it comes through and then we'll show it to everybody. It takes about 10 minutes to get to me. The
automation.
Yeah, the automation, it's all set up for this, right? If I want automatic delivery, I only want to order it once and it just comes to me at the beginning every month. Use that automatic delivery option, okay? And of course, we do have a subscribe now. That's that sort of all you can eat. Order as many reports as you want. I think it's $19.95, Carlos, is the price.
Right.
If you've got any questions on the AccuList program, the reports, the types of reports, when can you see them? When do they come available? Best thing to do is there's this feedback button down at the bottom right-hand corner, and it goes from page to page. You can't get rid of it, right? So I'm going to pop in a quick note here. Hi, Michelle, because Michelle Ronco is the person that runs this. Showing your reports, legend. She's gonna love this. Go.
Thanks. All right.
So
whenever they go to that feedback button, they will send a message directly to Michelle Ronco, who's one of the managers of AccuList. Is that right? Product manager.
Exactly.
Or they see the telephone number right at the top, of that page. Is that right? Somewhere over there?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I go back one page, let's go.
I think it's just
up
right
here.
at the top,
Right
right
up
there.
there. Yeah, right at the very top.
You can
That
call
literally
it.
goes to Michelle's desk. I mean, it's
Everything is Michelle's world.
yeah. This is the entrance to Michelle's world. So not only can we get you into the neighborhood, you know, this is the package of MLS listings. We can find out where the other open houses are. We can get your open house included in that area. We can use the public records to find everyone who lives around that open house. And then Aculus can provide you with the documentation, multiple types of reports to pull them in with your brand, your name, your address, your contact information. That's a nice 3 points that are very well connected together. Hey, I'm going to come off share for a second and see if anybody's got any questions on those aspects there.
Yeah, and or anything that we discussed before. We did talk about open houses, how to search for open houses, how to input an open house. We talked about members only, remember? And we said we have the show, do not show. Any question on that? What else did we talk about, Mark?
Well, we went through the NorCal.
The NorCal Alliance.
Yeah, we've talked about the support center thing. Carlos, I'm going to do I should have grabbed this earlier, but I'm going to go over while you're working with everybody and pick up that URL, because before we go, I want to show them the new dashboard.
Right. So we wanted to kind of brag about it. Well, what we've been talking about today is like what's going on. Like I said at the beginning of the session, we've gone through many things during the pandemic, right? Some of the things we suspended them, like open houses and broker tours. Now they're back. Some of the rules kind of we actually made them flexible, and then we went back to normal and all that. But in the meantime, while we were all hiding and hibernating, sort of, our engineering team was working on multiple things. One of them was the great accomplishment with the NorCal Alliance, right? That was always a big thing for us. After 10 years, they made it. Now we have the shared data for all those counties. But there is something else that Mark is about to show you. So the screen that you are familiar with yellow buttons on the left and blue buttons to the right, and the coming soon. Well, we've been seeing that screen for like probably over a decade. Is that right, Mark?
Oh, easily
for over a decade. And guess what? That is just about to change, and that's what Mark will show you now, because we are unveiling for you guys.
Yeah,
you are probably the first group, second group. We are unveiling. It's like the gender reveal thing that now is pretty common for couples having a baby. Now we're gonna unveil the new look and feel of this page. So I'm glad you stayed with us until now. So this is it. Mark will show it to you.
So Carlos, I think the key thing is, and you talked about it, this is the current opening or homepage that we've got. It's been around a while. It's old and stale, but one of the key sort of foundational pieces of this page is that it looks the same for everybody. It looks the same for everybody, and there's no information on this page. All it's showing me is a bunch of buttons that if I push it, it'll get me to some information. Okay, but in the world we live in now, where the second we click on, information starts to feed to us. That's the world we're going to. And so what you see here is this is the beta version. So we're just getting this worked up right now. This is 100% customizable, meaning if you don't like it in this order, as an example, you can move things around. I'm going to drag the video, the feature, and put it up here in the first position. Like most great web pages, where you leave it is where you'll find it next time. Okay. Now I'm currently looking at a market trends report here as an example for 95070. Going to change that to 95030. right? And take that. So these market trend reports, you can have multiple. I can look at 3.0 and 7.0 and 7.6 if I want to. I'll be able to search by city name if I want to, right? In this case, I'm searching by zip. San Jose is a big area to search all at once, right? Maybe I want to get down to just Willow Glen, that kind of stuff. This is giving me, as you can see, my what's going on. What are my key, what we call key factors statistically in a marketplace? As I said, is we want you to click in, username, password, and boom, information starts flying at you. But it's the information you need to get up in the morning, to check your system throughout the day and know exactly what's going on. Carlos, let's take a look at, here's Saratoga.
I was going to say that because see, Mark is showing you the market watch. If you remember on our regular screen right now, can you step back to our regular screen for a second, Mark? And if you go to the Matrix dashboard button right there, if you click on that, we have our market watch right there. But we only have this little box with color bars. And it doesn't even tell you what area you are looking at, right? You need to
and
go
you can
below,
only have one.
and you can only have one. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So this is my either Santa Clara, whatever areas, but here you can duplicate it or triplicate it and have Santa Clara and San Mateo or I don't know, Sunnyvale.
There's another one, yeah. So
yeah,
95076 as an example. Create as many areas as you want. Keep an eye on the statistics and the activity of as many areas you want all at the same time.
I love it.
And down here I've got new listings, in this day and age where you want to know about a new thing coming on the market, absolutely, as it comes up. This is that it checks every 5 minutes and it's always looking for new properties. Once again, at one point I was concentrating on 95070, that's Saratoga. I'm going to copy the card though, because at the very same time, I want to keep an eye on 95030 as well. Multiple cards, multiple leads, right? Now, some people said, but wait a second, Mark, I just want to go put a listing in. Well, you can't say, there it is right there, top of the page. Absolutely. I can still, just like the old world, I can dive into search. I can dive into list. I can dive into all the other products, right? But the objective of this homepage, and I think we're starting to really see it come to life. You put it together how you want it.
You customize it.
Yeah.
When is this being released, Mark?
We're looking for a September release, but here's the deal. We're looking for people to test drive, right? To get behind the wheel and take it out on the road. Right?
We can have the legend people, some of them be
absolutely
drivers.
Yeah, and we're looking for all different types of drivers. We're looking for the super techie, gonna tear it apart, try and break it for us. We need that, right? We need to hire like about 16, 13-year-olds, right? To go in there and just pound on it all, they'll break it. So we're looking for test drivers, not only those that, really like to push software to the limit. We're also looking for those of, look, I just need one city, one area, search only. That's all I'm looking for. Great. We need you as well. So I'm going to put, Carlos, I'm going to jump over when we're done here. I'm going to jump over and I'm going to put feedback at MLSListings.com. Feedback at MLSListings.com.
Well, before you go away from this page, Mark, so for everybody, just remember this is coming soon. I mean, it's not there yet. Mark is just showing you the preview. Like I said before, we're unveiling the way it's going to look probably in September, October, if they push it 1 month or something like that. But Mark was very specific. He said, we are doing this to modernize it, to make it customizable for you. But there is another reason. Some of you use their phone, right? Or your phone to go to the MLS. And guess what? When you open our page, pro.mlslistings.com, they always see this page and they zoom out, they zoom in, they click on this button. It's too much zooming in and out. And it's like, ugh. So we don't have an application. Well, at least we didn't have an application for that. What you are going to have in the near future, the page that Mark just showed you, is not an application, but it's responsive. And that means that whenever you go to your phone, all the little cards that Mark showed you are going to be adapted to your phone screen, whether you use a tablet or a phone. So we have two great things here. Well, a couple of good things like the Market Watch that you can multiply the customization that you have, and also the adaptability that we have on our phones. And see how easily you can move things around and make it feel like it's your own thing, right?
Yep.
You created this. Yep.
So lots of new things coming. Hey, Carlos, while we were away, let's see if I can find it. Look what came in the mail.
Oh.
Here's that Aculist report.
Oh, great.
Remember I ordered that Aculist report for Saratoga? Right? The one that looks like, and so this was just updated within the last 5 minutes. Okay. So giving me the median sale price, the sales to list price ratio received 109%, a little bit of craziness there. Days on market certainly coming down, and look down at the bottom. I'm not an agent. I just play one at MLS, but there's my picture. There's my company name. There's my contact information as well. So those are free.
Median sale price in your area, in your neighborhood, 3.55.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's what it is.
So lots of material. Once again, I'm gonna put it down here in the chat room, that feedback at MLSListings.com. If you want to be a test driver, give us your name, right? Give me a DRE number, give me a phone number, something like that. Want to email you that special URL, that special address to start working within the new tool. And note, the question's been asked, so I like to put it out. You can jump back and forth, right? You can play in the new tool for a while and then play in the old tool. And I want to play in the new tool and do a search. I want to play in the old tool and get a CMA done real quick, though. That's all right. You can jump back and forth.
Right. So Connie, Christine, maybe one of you can talk to Jerry Lee, your broker, or either any of you, and tell Jerry, hey, we saw this cool thing that is coming soon, which is the new look and feel, and they are asking for test drivers. Do you want to do it as a broker? Because we, like Mark said, we need all kinds of levels. We need some brokers to test it. We need some regular agents, seasoned agents, new agents, everybody to help us out with that. So that'll be awesome. All right. Is there a question right there?
Yeah, this is Kaibo in the East Bay, and I just called our association. They said we cannot access your MLSlistings.com.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's a pity, and yeah, I know there's some good features of your website.
And this, and some people, Kaibo, are, they're looking at the toolkits. As you go from MLS to MLS, the toolkits are a little different. Absolutely. We all carry different things. The support, whether it's the call center or Carlos's training environment, that definitely differs from place to place, right? And so it's truly, where's my market? But the key thing now is you can be in, Alameda and work with MLS listings, because you're going to see the same data. The data sets are now equalized throughout certainly the 9 Bay Area counties, but now 33 different counties in the state of California. I think, Carlos, is that the number 33?
Yes. Yeah. 33. Yeah, and Kaibo, I would definitely love you to be able to access our web page and all that, but with the data share plan that we currently have with the NorCal Alliance and all that, they made it simpler, and now we don't even have access to your website anymore, to the East Bay, and vice versa, right? The only thing that people can do is, and I'm not trying to sell anything here, is that you would join the MLS, our MLS, to have access to all our tools and all that, if you like them. Because we had another person that, by the way, came last week, I believe, Mark, that was asking the same thing. They came to our classes and they said, we like all you have, and I wish we had the same. And we said, unfortunately, we cannot share like that. You would need to join our MLS.
Yep.
it's a shame, right? Sorry about that, Kaibo.
So we have to pay extra, how much, or a little extra to just get access to that, because we already have our base membership for the
Right.
CAR, the NAR, and all the things. We already paid like nearly $2,000 for membership. So how much extra? Do you know?
There are no deals on that one, Kaibo. I'm sorry to say, you would have to have a second full membership into the MLS side. So that's just the way the industry has set itself up right now.
But he could try it out. Like, I mean, not for free though, but you have the quarterly membership or the half year. So if he wants, he can just pay the quarterly, see how it works for you. And maybe you go, yeah, I want to keep both, or I think I have everything at MLS Listings and I don't need the other one, or vice versa, right? Yeah. So it's a trial thing. Unfortunately, that's the way it works.
There are some advantages, Kaibo, I think, just of, how, not only the industry, but the world has changed. In the old days, if you wanted to access an MLS because you really like the support and you like the training and things like that, and maybe it was closer to you, physically closer to you, that was one of the reasons to choose a local MLS. Now that the support and the training and the tools have become internet-based, we've got clients, literally clients that are in Sacramento, but taking advantage of Carlos's training. Why? Because Carlos delivers himself to the client via the internet now. So there are some advantages of 2021 when it relates to, I'm in the East Bay, but I really want to use another MLS because I like their package better. And that could be San Francisco, it could be Barry's. There's some great MLSs out there. And Carlos and I don't sell. We've got this, we don't do that.
We train.
We train. That's what we do. So,
and so before we're done here, thank you, Kaibo, for asking those questions. Is there any other question before we wrap up?
Yes, I have two questions. And one is for all online trading is free?
Yes.
Okay. The another question is about I see the member only. Some is with the green letter M, some with green letter M with the cross, red cross. What's the exactly mean the M with the red cross? Is that mean cannot show someone who is not the member?
No, you can't show it to anybody.
Okay, so anybody with M only member can see it. Can do it. Is that correct?
That's correct. If it's just the M,
yes,
and you can show it to people in your office. You could show it to the Coldwell banker down the street. You can show it to anybody, right?
Okay.
But it's not we're not showing it. The MLS is not showing it to the world via Realtor.com and Zillow and Trulia and all that kind of stuff, right? So you're managing the marketing. You're managing the exposure of the listing. The M with the red slash through it means you can't show it to anybody. You can advertise. You could put the sign in the front yard. You can hand out flyers. You just can't let anybody in the house.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
A great question. Thank you, Charles.
Yep.
And I believe we have pretty much completed.
It's a big list.
All our topics. We did cover a lot in this hour and a half. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Charles, Anna, Chen, Connie, Kaibo, and the ones that had to leave that were here before. But this was being pre-recorded. I think Christine or Connie will send it out. We are on YouTube Live right now, and it's going to stay there for other people to watch. As far as I understand, there are over 200 agents at Legend, and that's really great. It keeps growing and growing. From the very first time I went there, when it only had a few agents, it has really grown. Kudos on that to Jerry and the team. You guys are great. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your everything. Thank you. Mark, is there anything else you want to add?
No, Carlos, enjoyed being with you folks. Hope we can come back and play again, as they say.
Sure. Yep. Sorry about that. I cannot open my video. There's no function for me. And anyway, thank you. Yep.
No worries. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, everyone. Well, you have an excellent day. We'll see you soon.
Okay, see you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.